asshole for telling the cashier that wasn't the girl's credit card? I was in a higher-end department store today. It rhymes with looming tales, and happened to end up next to two teenage-aged girls while shopping. One of the girls had picked out a pair of very expensive boots, and they were both fawning over them. The second girl must have looked at the price tag and asked Boots Girl if she really gonna spend that much on boots. Girl with boots says something along the lines of, quote unquote, "It's fine, I have my dad's credit card, I'm not paying," which instantly caught my attention because that's not her card. I've told my son multiple times he's never allowed to use my card, so I'm interested to see how this girl thinks she's going to get away with fraud, but had split up from the girls at this point because they had found something else. We end up at the same register, me behind them, and I see her total hit well over 4 digits. The girl is about to swipe her card when I decide that I can't let her get away with something like this, and someone has to parent this kid if no one else will. I tell the cashier that isn't her card, but her father's, and I'm sure she doesn't have permission. Girl and friend turn and glare at me, giving me possibly the dirtiest look I have ever seen. I swear this girl was going to throw a tantrum right there. I don't think she was ever told no. The girl tells the cashier her father gave her the card to shop with because it's the store's credit card and it gives him points. Now that I've pointed out it wasn't hers, the cashier tells her she can't use that card. The girl tries to show ID to prove they have the same last name. Yeah, that will help. And I tell her it's still fraud. The girl says it's not fraud because she has permission and tells me to mind my own business. I tell her that it is my business, that she's doing something illegal. She needs to pay with her own card. I call the cops. The girl is pissed now, and people are glaring at me. She uses her own card and leaves hysterically crying. The cashier looks mad at me, and I tell my husband when I get home, only for him to agree I was in the wrong. So, am I the asshole for telling the cashier that wasn't the girl's credit card? And the top comment coming in with 48,000 upvotes. You're the asshole. Did it ever occur to you that she was telling the truth and her dad had given her his credit card? Mind your own business. If the girl was an adult who said she was using her husband's card, OP likely wouldn't have batted an eye. Next comment, 14,000 upvotes. But it was something illegal, so it is her business. I thought the part about, quote unquote, someone needing to parent this child was bad, but this is some Karen BS. I just love the sense of self-righteousness that she swooped in and finally a martyr, nay, a savior, has at long last arrived to tell this girl, no, not today, Satan, spare me. Entitlement was the perfect word. You're the asshole, OP. Next comment, 8,000 upvotes. Oh my gosh, this one's funny. Only once every 1,000 years does such a hero grace the earth to do what all else have failed to do, parent other people's children. The mystics have foretold this legendary figure throughout the realms, anxiously awaiting her arrival. Rejoice, for she is here. Karen, the corrector of children, marvel at her superiority. And my vote, this lady is definitely the asshole. That comment that I just read is hilarious. I don't know why that's not the top comment. But yeah, I totally think that this girl should have minded her own business. She didn't know the story. I don't know. I was always raised to just mind my own business. So this girl is the asshole. If I was that girl, I would have reacted much differently. What do you think? Am I the asshole if I ask my pregnant wife to move out because she and her best friend decided to quote unquote test my loyalty? My wife is pregnant with our daughter. Initially, we were really happy and excited about it, but then She starts acting like a nut job. She gets angry and irritated for small things, insults me when she doesn't like the food I make, starts acting insecure, and accuses me of losing attraction for her. For example, she wanted to eat chicken sandwiches for dinner last week. Well, I made chicken sandwiches, so she eats all of the sandwiches, leaves me nothing, and told me that they tasted like caca. I wasn't pissed because she left me nothing, but if she didn't like them, why did she have to eat everything? When I asked her this, she told me that she was hungry. Okay, fine. She does this every time, eats everything I make, and calls it caca. I don't argue with her because I work for more than 80 hours a week and I really want to have some peace when I'm home. So yesterday, a random girl starts flirting with me after the gym and asked me if I wanted to meet up with her for some drinks. I rejected her and told her that I was married. And when I got home, my wife started to hug me and apologize. When I asked her what happened, she told me that her best friend suggested a test for my loyalty. So they asked a mutual friend to flirt with me and asked me out. And I passed, yay, but I'm really pissed. I'm done with her antics. Would I be the asshole if I asked her to move out? Edit to add, I don't live in the USA. Please stop discussing legalities based on the laws there. And the top comment coming in with 74,000 upvotes is... Might I suggest some couples therapy first? What she did was clearly an a-hole move, though I don't think you'd be in the right to have her move out while she's pregnant. Next comment, 20,000 upvotes. LOL what? Being pregnant doesn't guarantee you a relationship if you're being a terrible person. Next comment, 2,000 upvotes. From OP's post, I don't argue with her because I work for more than 80 hours a week. I think given that line, he's probably been letting these feelings fester and is ready to snap, but it sounds like he hasn't really given the talk things over option a fair shake. Obviously, they've been together for a while. I'd say if he jumps right into kicking her out, he is the asshole. He needs to try other things first. And my vote, I think this guy's the asshole. I think he should probably be a little more understanding and try other avenues first. Let me know what you guys think. I'm the asshole for quote-unquote forcing my son to wait to marry his then high school girlfriend. I, 50 female, single, have 2 sons. Dan, 22 male, and Sam, 27 male. Dan started dating Fran in their junior year. Toward the end of senior year, Dan came to me and said he wanted to marry Fran. At the time, Dan had multiple college options, which he was going to decline to stay in our town and marry Fran. I obviously didn't support this. I wanted my son to go to college, and he knew, too, that he had always been ambitious. I told my son that he had his whole life ahead of him and he could marry later, but he didn't need to rush it. I told him that if he went to college and waited even just a year or 2, I would pay for his tuition. At the time, I didn't know how serious their relationship was, and they had been together for a little over a year, and was scared it wouldn't work out and he'd waste this opportunity. My son happily accepted this offer and agreed with me that it would be best to wait. This year, my son graduated college, but maintained a long-distance relationship with Fran, and they announced their engagement a couple months ago. We were all ecstatic about it. Sometime between then and now, my son told Fran that I was the reason he waited until now to propose. I wasn't aware until Christmas when during dinner, Fran said she wanted to say something. She began saying, I paid my son to not marry her and actively tried to ruin their relationship. She then said that she was blessed that quote-unquote evil hadn't won and couldn't wait to have a long and happy marriage. Everyone was silent and didn't really know what to say. My son approached me later to apologize and said she had twisted his words, but it's been constantly weighing on my mind as friends and family all have different opinions. Edit. If my son had married Fran out of high school, he wouldn't have gone to college. My son chose to go to a school so far away. There were closer options, but he liked the school he chose. I will be showing Dan this thread and update if he responds. Fran currently works at her mother's bakery. She wants to be a stay-at-home mom once they get married and was waiting for Dan to come back home. Update. Dan and Fran have talked and cleared the air around the situation. Fran feels awful about what she said and realized that she should have come and talked to me privately. The situation, however, has brought up other issues between the two and their future. As Dan expressed that he would like to go to law school. Fran wants them to start their life together and thinks it's unfair for Dan to make them wait for 4+ more years. Dan is currently home and we will be dealing with this together. Thank you all for the advice. Dan has read this thread and is now feeling unsure about their relationship. And the top comment coming in with 43,000 upvotes. Not the asshole. Your future daughter-in-law showed the entire family that you were correct and that your son was wise to delay his marriage. Next comment, 24,000 upvotes. By quote-unquote evil, did Fran mean stopping her from getting pregnant at 18 and raising a baby she's obviously not ready for? OP was correct. Fran was definitely not ready to get married at 18 and probably isn't now. OP's son should rethink marrying her now or ever. Fran's treating her partner's mom like an obstacle to their love story, even though she's just looking out for them. Calling her mother-in-law evil might be the persecutor to a very strained and potentially toxic mother-in-law, daughter-in-law relationship. Next comment, 12,000 upvotes. Also, it was just an offer that OP willingly took them up on. So, if she's going to be mad at anyone, she should be mad at her partner. He is the one that delayed their marriage. And my vote. I actually don't think that this mom is the a-hole. I'm almost 30 now, and when I was 18... I hope that I made all of you just yawn right now, by the way. I thought that I knew everything and was gonna be with my current person forever and blah, blah, blah. But I knew nothing. If I knew now what I know then, I would have done, if I knew now how I was back then, I would have done things different.